Welcome everybody to the Bro Media Podcast. Good evening. I'm Lazarus. I
Ryan.
am. Yeah, we got Ryan. I'm Lazarus, one of your hosts here, along with my partner Ryan. We're two cool dudes, have cool conversations, real conversations. They're fun. They can go deep. Uh, they can go to the tinfoil side. So that's why it's super interesting. And one day we decided, let's start recording these and let's see what happens. But we were just going through some comments and, with my partner here, Ryan, and I don't know, we're having fun. So Ryan, go for it. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan, and I am the second founding member of Bro Media.
Yep.
And we decided, Laz and I go back.
We're both first. Let's just say it that way.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, we're both first.
We're twinsies. We're twinsies.
Twins.
But Laz and I go back from the music days together as musicians, and we always have good conversations together. So we decided to do a podcast where we can record it and we talk about pretty much anything. Unbiased, chill. We're not looking for to change the world and the way things YouTube, but we were just talking about the comments section on YouTube and how, like, the floodgates, they're just people waiting to pounce on you they want smoke, basically, for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, we're just two dudes doing a podcast, but some of the comments you're like, how should we respond to that? Because maybe that's what they want. They're waiting for a smart butt comment to come out of our mouths so that they can engage, aggressively. And that's just not. We're chill.
Yeah, we're chill. We're trying to respond chill. We're trying to obviously interact with whoever responds. And granted, we don't have that many comments, but like obviously we're reading them. And we want to respond. And, first off, thank you for watching. That's, thank you for giving us those like 15 seconds of airtime that you watched that video, but that you took another extra 15 seconds to reply. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super interesting to kind of just read these. And then also we're trying to read between the lines too. Like, what do they mean by that?
Yeah.
But like we have to rewatch our own video to get context.
Well, you guys can hear our voices, so there's no question. We're just reading words.
Yeah.
But we're reading it with, some vulnerability because we're new to this. We're like, man, are they being mean?
Yeah.
How should we respond? Yeah. So, you never know. I mean, there was some audio. We had audio issues when we started. Like any fresh start to anything, there's going to be hiccups and speed bumps and.
Even our last episode, which I was hesitant of working through it because even through doing sound check, I messed it up. That's being, completely honest. I clicked the button, sound checked, and forgot to unclick it. So we record, it sounded like, we were at like the racetrack and it's like double voiced, with the power of technology and software and plugins. I ended up fixing it to where it's, it's bearable, but going forward, you just learn from your mistakes and it is what it is. You shake it off. As long as you learn from your mistakes, then you're good.
The funny part about that is both our music backgrounds. Like, we know that sound checks happen every single time you take any stage format and, we're chilling. It sounds good in here. So we don't know. And then that's like having your stage monitor perfect, but the outside speakers are off or not even, or up too high or whatever, facing the wrong way. So we apologize, but the comments are awesome because it's you're engaging in our just, two dudes bantering about whatever and enjoying an hour or two with each other. Once a week we shoot these and it's always a good time. It's always, we unscripted. 100%. We don't think about it. In fact, we had dinner last night and we just caught up on life.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that, man.
Same.
You never realize how important it is for relationships and friendships to just naturally evolve. So with
Yep.
that, full bro media salute to you, my friend. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, same here. It felt good to. I know most of our interactions have been either through cell phone, Instagram, or even through here. It's all been for the most part electronic. Since we kind of reconnected, but it was cool, man. It's different. Getting in front of the other person, it's real. Like this. Obviously, it's awesome to have this electronic interaction, but having that in person, it's just there's no replacement to that.
It's that BC, it's that before COVID vibe, where people did things in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, we should do that more often for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And since we're an official business now, it's a business meeting.
It sure was.
Yeah, good old fashioned Japanese foods and
dude, it was delicious. We love
delicious drinks.
Sushi. We gained 2 pounds worth of salt, right?
Dude, I got up this morning. I jumped on the scale and I was like, what happened? And it was the salt from the sodium and all that.
Yeah.
As you get older, man, I hold on to it. Yep. Big time. Like it's crazy.
We're not young bucks no more.
No, I've been drinking a lot of water today though.
Me too. Like honestly, honestly, I felt that way too. It's funny that you said it because I was like, God, was the food yesterday just like that salty or whatever? Don't get me wrong, it was delicious, but
I feel it in my hands.
Yeah,
like if they feel like crusty, I feel like ugh.
Yeah, we're definitely old,
dude. Yeah, I probably had almost a gallon of water for the day, but I just got home and
the vino,
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
What would a podcast be without a sip of some vino?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I drink tequila. It's not a tequila night.
Gotcha. Yeah. Not for me. I honestly, it could have been the beer too. I'm not gonna lie. Beer hits me.
Yeah.
I forgot that we had a beer. So
I immediately got a forehead headache when I took a sip of that beer. I was like, maybe it's just because, but I'm not a beer guy. But I'll drink a beer.
Yeah. Like
part of the experience.
It sounded good at the moment, but I hardly drink beer too because of the same factors. I get swollen real fast, and I feel it. So could have been a combination of salt and beer. So
for sure,
for
sure. Well, speaking of getting older, my body levels and hormones starting to change as you get older, and you got to stay on top of that, and you got to make sure you're working out. And my job is physical anyways, but it's never enough. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
So, we got to, now the summer's coming, which changes everything for us because you could just become dehydrated getting out of your car and walking to the job site. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And for you, like at your job sites, like, is there a working AC or is there sometimes like not working AC because it could be a brand new building?
Yeah. So like last year, we had nothing but warehouse jobs, pulling cables in the top of a warehouse that wasn't air conditioned yet in the summertime. So that was hot. And in the wintertime, we had indoor freezer jobs where we were working in negative 20 degrees. So it was like, why couldn't we have the freezer job in the summer?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's kind of looking that way. We have an airport job coming up. Third floor basement in the summer. We have a warehouse job working at now that has no air, but it's nice out. And then we have an outside job starting in 2 weeks, and that's outside, just straight in the sun. So it's coming. It's just like spring training. You got to kind of get used to the heat again, and try to cover as much skin as possible and drink lots of water. And yeah. I'm more aware of the sun now. Well, for one, my father passed away when I was 8 of skin cancer, but also as I get older, like I protect my skin, but I also don't want to mess up my tattoo. So that's mainly a reason to keep covered or to keep at least even our shirts in the summer have like a sunblock. Something built in, like the fishing shirts, UV protection.
They're actually comfortable shirts to wear.
They are. Yeah. The older I get, I'm like, I could wear this at home on a Saturday. Get some New Balance shoes and I'm set.
There you go.
Maybe a push lawnmower.
You get the
So,
the high top socks too. Might as well.
yeah. Oh yeah, with the stripes.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Full dad mode.
Yep.
But no, we don't do that.
I got
Yeah.
I got to bring something up because yeah, I just been watching it and kind of unfold. Soul has the whole world. This whole P Diddy thing.
Man, did you see that?
He's on the run, man.
We didn't even talk about that last night.
No, we didn't bring it up. Is why is why I mean, I guess top down. He is being accused, allegedly of running some type of sex ring.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff that people don't talk about the music industry. And I think I touched base on it of a lot of like in a prior episode that there's a lot of gatekeeping happening. In order for you to get from point A to point B to point C, it's either like you're working through people that are gatekeeping certain segments of the industry. Let it be managers, let it be producers, let it be musicians or whatnot. And at this point, it's pretty well recorded that it's happening.
It looks bad.
It's bad.
The internet, I couldn't like as soon as we heard about this, I was like, oh man, the internet's just gonna thrive. Like I started getting these crazy let me see if it'll focus here. Come on, do it.
No, I don't want
you know what? I'm too bright. 1 second. I started getting these crazy
like notifications.
Yeah, well, so basically they like sorry, 1 second. I'll get better at this. It's not gonna focus.
It doesn't want to.
There it is. But anyways, they took P. Diddy's face and made him look like Epstein.
Oh, and, they morphed it, yeah.
Yeah, this one goes Puff Daddy to P. Diddy to Diddy to PD Philly.
Dude, there's a lot there.
Like it's bad, and the internet's just caught fire over it. And
like,
there's I heard some rappers coming forward, like he saying that he's, and this is like conspiracy stuff because we don't really know. Like, he hasn't released a statement, but it looks terrible. There was some kid, his neighbor, talking about if his basketball goes over there, he just lets it be.
Yeah,
like he doesn't even try. He's afraid because at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's like busloads of people and humans and children pulling up, and who knows? Like maybe everyone's jumping on that. Let's get him trained. We don't really know, but it looks bad. You know what I mean? It looks.
I mean, especially the fact that he's on an airplane and jumped up and gone.
Well, he was on the manifest, but he wasn't on the plane.
I heard that. Yeah.
So they made him look like he was there, and that's like
I saw like obviously this is like everything's kind of like up in the air. Nobody really knows, but everybody's saying like he's shipping out evidence and like tapes and documents, whatever. Like it's just wild.
For the level of authorities that got involved, man.
Homeland Security, man. Homeland Security.
You gotta be doing some stuff. Like it's gotta be on. And they I just saw Mace, which was like, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Back in the day, I saw Mace was in an interview and he was they coined the term, like we would say in the day, no homo. They coined the term no Diddy.
Oh yeah.
Fire over the internet. So like you're seeing that pop up now. And like just the constant just barrage of the wild place of the internet. It remains undefeated. Like if you mess up and you're a public figure, you're literally like this is like being burned at the stake or stoned with actual rocks. Like they just don't stop.
Here's the worst part of it. A lot of people that know about it and have never said anything about it, they're not going to say anything about it unless their name pops up in some of these like documents or videos. Like,
the security guy was just in an interview with another rapper. It was the older guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both being interviewed at the same time. And this guy was straight up asking him, did this ever happen? And they're like, well, I mean, I'm not surprised this is all going down, but they weren't really saying anything.
Yeah.
Because they're probably like, well, if you drag me into this trench, man, I'm going to pop off in here, like, so it What a mess. What a mess. Humans are messy. How do you get there? You got all the money, all the fame, but you got to be weird, like super weird.
Well, I mean, you have to, you know, the conspiracy is that you have to compromise yourself to get to a certain level of fame. Like, and
Yeah.
that's why, hence, they call it the whole Epstein Island, you know, compromise island, because you do things there, they get recordings or whatever the heck they do there. And, you know, sure, you become part of the elite, but if you don't follow and you don't stay in line,
Mhm.
it's all going to fall apart.
Yeah. Speaking of Epstein Island, I just saw another little quip about it. It was Epstein Island, like the shape is the same shape as the Nickelodeon.
Yes, I saw that.
I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, you know, obviously, I don't think that was a man-made island. It maybe it was. I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
it's strange. Like, considering the whole documentary on Netflix was interesting. But
Yeah, it's just it's
is it
crazy.
coincidence, man, or is it just like are we just seeing a glitch in the in reality?
I don't
What's
know.
going on, man?
I don't know. And what worries me too, like there's a lot of people that willingly went through the process. And I can say like we're probably never gonna know. But like, let's say I wanted to be famous. Somebody told me to do something. Heck no, man. Like my dignity is worth a lot more than, you know,
Yeah.
all the money in the world. Like I would never do any of that. Like,
Yeah, people really do like I think sell your soul is like literally
yeah, right.
maybe not like an actual, you know, devilly thing, but like you're willing to do whatever it takes to be successful, to be in the limelight, you know, to be I don't know. We talk about this with music. What if we had access to any and everything that you could possibly imagine? Money was no object. Drugs of any kind where nothing was impossible. When you're exposed to that kind of level of excess, like, or whatever you want, what do you do with that? I mean, that's something that we missed the boat, but I think we dodged a good. I think that was a good thing. You know, I think that I got to share the stage with some famous people and do a lot of cool stuff. But then I got to go and have a normal life, and that's it seemed kind of bummerish at the time where I was like, man, we could have made it. You know, we missed the boat, we missed the window, we wrong place at the wrong time. We turned down a couple of record deals because the record producer wanted us to do cocaine in the limo. We weren't about that. Like literally kicked us out on the street on on Sunset. You know, and you know there was decisions that we had our dignity, and so we just wanted to be playing music, and we didn't want to sell our souls. But I think that we probably would have been. I mean, I think that we were pretty decent for what we got to do in such an early time.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that we could. And I wonder what I would do with that's the back to the story. Like, what do you do when you have unlimited resources? You know, when you have anything you want, 3 a.m, you can get a jet and go somewhere. You know, like this, I don't ball like that.
Yeah.
You don't have that kind of power. So with that said, like it's easy to judge these celebrities, I think, because we're like way out of that financial realm.
Yeah, right.
Or that level of success. So I don't think it would be that enjoyable to be famous like that.
No, I don't. I mean, especially, you know, my mentality now is a lot more mature than when I was 18 years old. I'll tell you straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do if I had $25 million in the bank at 18 years old.
Right.
But I don't know. Like my mind now says, if somebody told me get on your knees and do this, and you're going to have for the next 10 years a successful, you know, musician career.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really out. And this is the other side of things too. Like when stuff goes down like this, people come out like, oh, I was a victim of this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like now like ultra elite millionaires.
Yeah. The
Like,
contract's fulfilled,
like
and now they can go back and say,
I
hey,
hate to say it this way, but there's no sympathy, like especially from me. And this is personally, I don't know about you, I don't know about anybody else. The sympathy's kind of is it's diluted a little bit, you know,
yeah,
like it's hard for me to.
yeah, that sucks to be, you know, filthy rich, but you were, you know, all this stuff happened to you. I mean, granted, no, I don't think, I, I think it's terrible that people get molested, and
Yeah,
or
for
they,
sure.
or they, you know, or they're catching, you know, they're catching a rape, or they're doing this. They don't ask for that. But I think once you're vulnerable and young, and you really want success, and you're willing to jump on the train, and you don't have direction, and you just see the end of the tunnel, and you're not looking at the walls, then the warning signs, and you just see the money bag sitting there at the end, and you just shoot it. You go for it. You shoot the tunnel, and you're like, oh man. But if I just get through this crazy time, I'm gonna be set. I'm gonna be able to set up my family, and I won't be poor anymore, or whatever the situation. And then they get it, right? And they get everybody, and then, you know, you remember the shows, like playing, you ever play a show and it was a great night, it was busy, people were just raging and having a good time, then you go home and you're just by yourself, and you're just like, it's quiet and there's no one around, and that's when you're just like, that's the worst part of like the highs and lows. And
Mhm.
maybe for with people that are extremely successful, maybe that's way worse for them, where they're just like, yeah, I'm famous, but this is miserable. Like, I can't do anything with my life. I can't go to the store. I want to go to this, you know, Costco. I can't, you know, and
Isolation is not good for anybody. You know, we're humans. We're meant to connect. We're meant
yeah,
to have physical and real connections. And you're right. A lot of times, you know, they become ultra famous, like these Beyonces and Michael Jacksons. You know, you see them; they can't even walk the street.
yeah.
You
So they
know,
get into really weird shit, unfortunately.
yeah. No,
And
I agree with that.
sorry, I know we're supposed to keep the. I have a bad mouth, but that was the first one that ever slipped on this
Yeah, that's the
podcast.
first one.
Man, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Apologies. We're normal.
Yeah.
Uh, I try to tame it down, but people really are into weird stuff, and that's, I mean, you know, everybody has their thing. That's the beauty, I think, of our podcast, is like, nobody is right or wrong. There's just, we're talking about different lifestyles, different things, um, and us talking about isn't going to change it. My opinion about someone's lifestyle isn't going to affect you at all, you know, or change it. So why, you know, just you kind of just have to accept people
Yeah.
for who they are, and if they're not your kind of people, then you just don't hang out with them.
The one thing that I'll say is, like, now, if there was anybody out there that were victim to these, you know, like, if it's true, you know, Puff Daddy situation, and I hope they get their justice, man. Like, think,
That's looking pretty bad.
yeah.
Have you heard the one where I think it's Meek Mill, and they're recorded
Oh,
audio,
yeah,
recorded audio. Someone's just getting punished,
yeah.
and I don't know if it's fake or not, because that's hard to say.
No, yeah, I saw it on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Ooh-wee. I mean, that's not looking good for them at all. You know, like, it's looking like you might be in trouble. I mean, that's obviously, like, those are two older people, whether they had consent or not, whatever. But that was private. It should have been private, and somebody took advantage of that for this moment, maybe, or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but
You
like,
know,
you're saying, people knew nobody was saying anything. So, like, that's the see something, you know, see something, say something. That's kind of a dying thing.
yeah, like what's going on in this world? Like, is being famous and money now that important? Is that the peak of our society? Like, do whatever you can to get it.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man.
Yeah. It's
Like,
probably guys like us, dude, that will just do things for ourselves, for our families, and and don't. I honestly, like, I don't care about fame. Like, I don't. I like the people that I love the people around me, and that really makes a strong team. That's what matters, right? The people around you make you strong. Are good, strong wives, a strong support team, workforce, all that. Like that's tangible stuff. You know, getting millions of views doing content and stuff like that. I mean, cool. That would be amazing for strictly for the YouTube financials. But I mean, at what cost does that take? What does that take? And most people aren't really willing to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of those people disappear. Do you remember Jenna Marbles?
Who's that one?
She was hilarious, and she was posting content all the time back like way before it was a thing. But she was hilarious, and all of a sudden, she's just gone, and I don't know what happened. I probably could easily find out. I just thought of that. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I pulled her up.
Okay, yeah, super funny. Had a lot of funny content. She was dating some dude named Max No Sleeves for a while, and I think he still does his own page and stuff like that. But out of nowhere, just gone like overnight. I mean, went from being funded, probably making decent money, to just ghost. It makes you wonder what happens to people. Did something take them off the
controversy and indefinite hiatus? June 25th, 2020, Marbles uploaded an apology video following accusations of blackface and racism. In this video, she addressed the offensive content in her videos. She probably just got ratioed, you know what I mean?
That'll do it.
Yeah, so
she was in blackface.
I guess the story says here that she impersonated Nicki Minaj, rapping an anti-Asian slander while wearing traditional Asian clothing. But it's crazy because there's like Justin Trudeau and Howard Stern did blackface, and they're still in the limelight. But
I mean, not everybody can be Robert Downey Jr., man. You just can't do it, man.
Yeah, I guess.
You just named all three people that can pull that off, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's just, yeah. And sometimes you just sign your own. You sign your own.
So I get
resignation letter, man.
So
I didn't know that's what happened.
So yeah, I had to pull it up because I was like, I know who you're talking about, but
yeah,
podcast sake, I wanted to make sure that like we had some type of accuracy. But
fact check, yeah, I didn't realize it was that actually 2020 doesn't seem long ago, but now it has been 4 years.
Yeah, it's 4 years. I mean,
a whole high school career, bro.
That's recent. So yeah, that sucks. I mean, I hope whatever she's going through,
Yeah, super funny. Had a lot of talent. Like, I enjoyed all the content. It was she was probably her career was probably at least 4 or 5 years or longer of doing that.
But like speaking of like YouTubers and
you should get her on the podcast.
Hey,
Jenna Marbles.
Jenna, if you want to jump on, more than happy to have you on.
Come sit with a couple of nobodies that just think you're cool.
Have a sip of water,
Yeah. Or wine. You can turn that into this.
Yeah. Have a sip of water, have a conversation, see how you're doing. Yeah. Wouldn't mind it. Well, what I was gonna say is like there's people that have these YouTube careers that are or Kick and Rumble or whatever, but they're just I'll say it, they're freaking idiots, man. Like
yeah.
they're like the content is obscured. It's just crazy. They're just trolling people on the streets. Like, even to the point where they're actually hurting random people. Like I saw this guy like just walking up to a guy, and older man, he just sucker punches him.
Yeah. The knockout game.
Yeah. Like that's crazy. And these kids have millions of views. Society eats that stuff. That's crazy. There's another guy
that starts in the home, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like the way I was raised, man, it's just no.
That wouldn't fly. It's respect. Like
especially older people. Seeing older people get hurt.
It's sad, man.
It's sad. I'll be scrolling and all of a sudden I'll see something like that, and it breaks my heart, man, because
there's another content.
Someone try to punch me in the back of the head. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Come get some, you know?
Oh, they'll
Yeah.
get. I mean, they'll get it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
another content creator in London or something like that, and he would literally just walk into random people's homes, open the door, and just sit in their couch while the people are in their homes, and like mm, like
Yeah.
that wouldn't fly out here in the.
Oh man. No, this is we're in the Wild West, man. Like, everybody out in Arizona either has taken martial arts or is a gun guy. That's it. Or you're both like me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not to be a tough person. Speaking of, I was just kidding about coming and get some. I'm a peaceful warrior. But it just makes me angry that people can be so hurtful, man. And I would, somebody minding their own business, literally like that older man I saw get knocked out, he died. He was chilling, going somewhere. He had grandkids probably and
I'm not sure.
Life and all that stuff.
I'm not sure if it's the same guy that you saw, but there was another man. I think it was in Las Vegas. These teenagers were in a car, and he was an ex-police officer, chief, I believe he was.
Oh, I did see that.
And he's riding. What was he riding his bike? I think he was riding his bike.
He was a retired cop,
and they just
didn't know that. They just thought it was funny to hit him.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto style. They just hit him, and these kids are in jail now. Like they killed somebody for. I'm sure, were they live streaming? I don't know. I don't remember the full details.
I think they were live. I think they were either like somewhere, Facebook or something.
But it's just crazy. People with this type of mentality have millions of views, and oh man, I don't know. Is it a reflection of our society? I don't know.
We, like my dad would always say, like, we don't have, like, if something happens with guns, of course they blame the guns. This is probably going to get some BS responses, but that's fine. I'm not coming from a certain side of the fence, but most of the time when something happens with firearms, they blame the firearm.
Not the person.
Happens with violence, they blame the object. If we don't have a problem with those things, we have a problem with the heart. And my dad would always tell me that is people's hearts are in the wrong place. That's where our whole pump station, our whole motivation, all of those things, we have a heart problem. We have an issue with the way that we were raised. We have an issue with whatever it is. Mental health, mental illness is a huge problem in this world, in this country. And we're very quick to judge somebody for using an inanimate object to hurt somebody when that person decided that that's what they were going to use. And I get it that people will say, well, if those that weren't around, but honestly, like you could hurt somebody with anything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be with a knife or a firearm or a broomstick. Even butter knives are sharp. Like it's sad because it is just a blame game of things, and we need to analyze our hearts, man, and find out like really what's going on, what's triggering that to hurt somebody else. Like what issues happened in your life. Like I truly believe that we don't have adult problems. We have childhood problems that manifest themselves as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever issues that we might have had and experienced in childhood disappeared until our brains developed. And all of a sudden we're 35, 40 years old. And all of a sudden we're like, oh gosh, I have all of these problems and I have these issues and I'm like angry or I'm into this, I'm into that, or I'm making all of these choices. And maybe that's normal, but really, is it normal? And so I think that there's, like my dad would say all the time, there's a problem with the heart. And it really does. It starts in the home and you can change it, but you got to be willing to face the music.
Yep. And I also say it's a cultural thing. Like some of these even artists and people, like they just they go in the limelight as soon as some of this like weird stuff is happening. Like there's a streamer walks around like this. He has a bodyguard behind him and he's walking around like this and he like bumps into somebody
Whams people. I've seen that.
and that person responds,
Yeah.
and then the bodyguard immediately gets like in between them. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
and then people, you just see the little whatever the feed is like scrolling because millions of people are, thousands of people are typing away like,
Yeah.
ah ha ha,
Yeah.
whatever, like holy smoke. It's a cultural thing. I don't know where we go from here, like as far as society. I agree with you that it's a hard thing, but like I feel like,
If your heart's in the right place, you don't want to hurt anyone.
yeah.
You know? In fact, if you're practicing love and kindness to people in true bro media fashion, you're gonna have a peaceful life. And that's like it's such an easier way to live your life is to be peaceful. We all know how to hurt and be mean and say bad things
Mm-hmm.
and make people upset. But really, like, why are you doing that? And what are you getting from damaging someone's emotions? My child was horribly abused in school and still suffers from that. And, even the teachers knew about it and were even in on it. Um, and it's terrible, but that my kid's going to have that issue for a long time. And so that's one of my biggest motivations is to just be kind. I told my kid, don't matter who you are in this world, just be kind. Practice loving people because there's a lot of bad people out there that don't care that you're a cool kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know? In fact, they might even try to knock you down a notch because you're a cool kid. And they don't have it in them to just go, hey, we could be friends, you know? So that's the thing. Like if you even the circles you keep sometimes can not be the right circles. And it's too late. You don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that, those people have screwed you up, you know.
And certainly social media has made everything louder. Information, videos, all that stuff makes the rounds within like the hour, if that. You know what I mean? Information just gets
Fast.
Yeah, it's so fast nowadays. Something happens, we know about it. Like breaking news, like
Mm-hmm.
it moves so fast. But I don't know. Like my daughters asked me for social media, and I'm like, nah, sorry, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're not ready. Like if anything, I think social media is an adult thing, and that's just my take.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really know what you can expose your family to if you're not watching. Or it's not that, the helicopter parent thing is all that great either, but like,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, my kid can because of the therapies and extensive work that, you know, uh, is happening, there's it's a different person because, just to listen to the perspective from someone that has really been bullied. I mean, really been through it. Plus continues to do the work, and realizes when something's not really seeming all that great on the internet, like shuts it off, just done. Not entertaining it. It's not funny. It's not cool, and that unfortunately is a silver lining from coming from a place that we thought was safe, that we thought we were doing the best thing for our kid and, putting them, in a private school and, all the extra, I don't want to say that like anything really negative about the school itself, but the situation
Right.
was not great, and,
Mhm.
and so um, I wish that I could go back in time and not have that been a thing that my kid had to experience, but I can't, so here we are. Extensive therapies, all of the tools that we could possibly muster
Mm-hmm.
for becoming the best version we can become, at a young age. So 15 years old right now, doing well, considering. So yeah, that's a little tangent there, but that's
No, you're good, man.
genuinely where like I really feel like people need to just, I mean, God, dude, if I could drop the F bomb right now, I would just be kind, be kind, You have no idea the permanent damage you can do to somebody just because you wanted to try to be funny on the internet, or
Mm-hmm.
even to your friends, even to your best friends. For uh, from body shaming to any of that stuff, man. Like, analyze yourself. Figure out why you're coming from that place and deal with it. Figure it out.
Funny that you kind of said something of that caliber, where we should watch what we say, always kind of be like thoughtful about the words
Yeah.
that come out of our mouths. Just because I guess I'm just relating a lot of our conversation today, stuff that I see on social media. There's this video that popped up. It's a couple driving. It's a young kid, maybe teenager, has this little girlfriend on the side, and they're driving down the road, and then he's gonna ask her to go to prom with him, and it's like one word per 100 feet or something like that. So it's like, hey, will you go to prom with me?
Yeah.
And the girl, like in the moment that she's like reading these, and she's like, oh, this is so shitty. Oh, this is horrible. Like, this is so lame. And you can just see the poor kids like
melting.
Yeah, he's just melting, taking it. And then like they got to the last word, and then he reaches back, and he had like the question mark behind her seat, and then gives it to her, and then she breaks down crying. You know what I mean? And I'm not throwing shade at her or anything like that, but it's more like,
not know it was for her.
It was for her, but she
didn't know.
No, until he kind of like gave her the question mark sign. So it's just like it's just like, do we really always have to say the negative side of things?
Right.
Like, be thoughtful, control. Having self-control is a lot harder than just blurting out whatever you're kind of like thinking.
It's true. I've nobody wins a fight, whether it's verbally, mentally, physically. I've been in all of those, and it's nobody triumphs from. Even if you're the one laying on the ground when it's over, that other person is hurting too, whether they want to admit it or not. Mental combat is, if not worse, than taking a punch to the face, because a punch to the face is temporary. In fact, a lot of times getting injured that way is going to have not as long of lasting effect as being an asshole. And I guess we'll just make this one the podcast we say random words. it's for me, it's a really sensitive place, and I get angry because my child never deserved that treatment, and has only been a lovable kid and always just wanted to be cared for, because that's where we started in the home with that. That was our foundation of be anything you want, but practice being kind, be lovable, be genuine, and be sweet, and then doesn't matter if you send your kid to school where there's just full of terrible, terrible people, and the bullies are friends with those teachers, and the teachers just sweep it under the rug, and it goes on for years, and you don't know, and then you find out, and it's just, the damage is just way bad. And your kid just wants to have friends, so they're going to continue to take up the punishment until it comes to a head. And this is like, it's very, very near and dear to my heart.
Right.
Just who we want to be as a family, who we are as people. Just be kind, man. Like, you can be a lot of things. If you can be a kind person, you're going to get a lot further in life. My whole business has been successful because I'm just genuinely care about people and what they have to say, and relationships, man. Build those relationships and maintain them. The rest is easy. But unfortunately, the heart problem takes over a lot of times, and people are damaged, and messy. and they hurt others, and that's the worst, And then now we have the internet, which is there's no face-to-face interaction. People can be super mean and then go eat popcorn and hang out. Like
Yeah,
they don't have any.
they can lay down the worst 100
Oh,
characters in the world, and it's like nothing,
if anything, just try to be funny without being hurtful, because that'll get you a lot further.
I don't know. I feel like they call it the keyboard warriors. You know what I mean? Like they live for it. Like I mean, go through Instagram. Go through the comment section.
That's what I mean.
There's always going to be somebody that really digs. That's
destroying.
Yeah.
I sent you that band where their musicians were just absolutely slaying, but they were all overweight people.
I saw the comments.
Roasting.
Yeah.
That was changed their names. And I mean, yes, very clever, but very hurtful.
Yeah.
You almost are like, wow.
Like they're actually playing well. They sound good.
Yeah, they're killing it, man.
But they couldn't, visually, whoever was watching it and posting those things, they couldn't get past that. They had to throw their 1 cent in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they would have had some some people lip sync Milli Vanilli in it with some models in there, people would have bought that up.
If it would have been Cardi B, it would have been a whole different story.
Right.
Slay girl.
Yeah. Own it. Own it.
And that's what I'm saying at the end of the day. Like where are we at as society? And I'm sure it's always been this way, but now with the whole world online, no matter if you're in Arizona and you post something, somebody in Colorado, Florida, India, Japan, they're going to see it. They're going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, hopefully something positive. But there's always that 10% that are louder than the 90%, know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, man, you could have we practiced this and taught this, when our kid was learning about, being negative and positive. Is like, man, you could have the best day. Everything could go your way. You could be having a good day at school, good day at work, good interaction on a date, whatever. And right before you get home, somebody cuts you off and almost runs you off the road. What are you going to stew on for the next 2 hours? It's going to be that negative moment. That's fraction of a second that happened in your life that you're going to focus on and forget for a while, at least, all of the positive things that happen throughout your entire day, because that's the power of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally the power of anger. It can literally fester in you. And it clings. It's weird. It's like just that whole vibe of I think we talked about this one time before, is humans vibe with frequency. We're an energy. I fully believe that we're an energy source. I have a voltmeter I could show you. I can squeeze both sides and I will have an electrical current on my meter. We are energy. Energy is power. So, if you're a nothing ever good happens to me kind of guy, that's the frequency you're going to rock at, and those are the kind of people you hang out with. If you're practicing to be positive all the time, and thankful and practice gratitude, that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract like-minded people that want to vibe with you. Because who doesn't want to be happy? Because this world is too full of negativity. Some of the people that realize that this is a better way to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so tiring to be angry all the time. But it's also harder to stay happy because negativity is it's a powerful force. It's a better and wider banded frequency to be on because there's so much of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you bring up a good point. It's just if you want to lead a good life, you're going to have to make good choices, and personal choice to make, to have good friends. Even the hardest thing is getting rid of bad friends. And
dude, I mean, we're humans are messy. We're messy. We're not dialed by any means. And people that appear that way online, they practiced. Talent is not something that just happens. Talent is you train for that. You strive to be a good human. You strive to have skills, and that's to me like being skilled and being kind is one of the coolest talents you can work on.
Mm-hmm.
Is just be genuine, be cool. Be kind and give people a different experience
And also
and
just
stick to it.
I agree with that. And also just like I go back to like on the self accountability thing. It's like make sure like as a person, you're able to discern good and bad.
Yeah.
Like if our bodies can tell us, like you get that gut feeling, I'm not supposed to be here, then get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait and find out what's going to happen. Like
yeah.
So
that.
having discernment
Yeah.
is as equal as being kind and the way you talk to people, and all that stuff. I think.
Yeah. And don't get stuck, man. Like you can, if you feel like you're on the wrong path, you really can change it. You can go. If you're tired of being, I don't know, tired of being taken advantage of. If you're tired of being this, that, the other. If you're tired of not being in shape. If you're tired of drinking too much or drugs or alcohol or bad relationships, like you can literally change that. You just have to commit to the process, whatever that looks like, and ask yourself, what's this going to look like if I make this change? And what's the worst thing that could happen if I try this?
Right.
And if it doesn't sound right, then think about another path. But most of the time when anything's a positive change, it's just because we're stubborn and we'll talk ourselves out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason like we don't stick to positive changes. Is the New Year's resolutions, man. Like everybody wants the fresh start, but nobody wants to do the work.
Yep. That's a hard part. The work.
The gyms are packed in the first 2 months of January, and then the OGs come back around and they get their machines back because repetition, you got to be relentless in business. You have to be relentless with your family. And if you have an idea, you should be relentless in that crazy, and embrace that moment. Because, that's the only way to do it. And do it the whole time practicing kindness and see where that gets you. I promise you won't fail.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Heck yeah. I think we're hopefully one person out there, just one, sees this and says, I'm going to better my life. Honestly,
what's crazy is sometimes we have conversations and we're like, man, for whatever reason that should have happened. That we needed to do that. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like it really does. It has. I don't care if it's one person that goes, man, I tuned into these guys that they're just buddies. They have a podcast and they said something that affected me, and I'm gonna do that. Mm-hmm. Why not? There is nothing bad about trying to be positive. Nothing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing unhealthy about wanting to fix your shit.
Yeah.
And so whatever that is, you have to find it. We're all messy. We all have our problems. We all have to figure it out. Not a single person is perfect.
Nope. Not one.
And so that's why like our stance as a team has been very like, hey man, these things are out there. People are people. Life can be messy, but I think as you can agree that the older we get, the circle gets smaller, stays small, and that's okay. I don't need 1 million friends. I just need a few really, really good ones that I can count on. Accountability friends, friends to just be vulnerable with. Like I think we talked about it last night, how important vulnerability is with people that you love, especially as men, because that's a softer side that history shows us we shouldn't be as men. And I think it's really important to be vulnerable and to be sensitive to your family, to the ones you love, the ones that love you back, and there's nothing negative that comes out of that,
Oh yeah,
at all.
for sure. For sure. Well, heck yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks
Appreciate
for
you,
the
man.
conversation. I like the way you exit us out last week, so I'm gonna give you the reins again. Go for it, bro.
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't remember what I said. That's the thing, the improv.
It was
Improv.
perfect. It was perfect.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for listening and tuning in. It really means a lot to us that you're here. And if you've lasted this long, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment any sort of analytics that you can give us, good or bad. It's all right. It's okay.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you listen to our podcast, though, we do encourage you to be kind for no reason. And if you can't say anything nice, just give us a like. I mean, it's really no skin off your back. But it is nice to have this platform to just practice kindness, and also just to talk about whatever we really want to talk about. Like I said, nothing is scripted. We have no idea what we're going to talk about every podcast, and I like that. It keeps you on your toes as me and you riff back and forth, kind of keeps the brain from season as we get older. And
Mhm.
I appreciate your friendship, man. Thanks
Same
again
here.
for tuning in, everybody, and stay tuned for the next podcast. We do this every Wednesday, and then the content gets released in clips. If you can, go out of your way to just hit a like for us. We're trying to see what happens if
Yep.
if we get some real
Give
traction.
us that
So,
like. We're trying to get this monetized, I guess. Is that the goal?
yeah,
I don't know.
Spread love for real. Be kind for no reason. Do something nice for somebody. See how that feels.
Yeah, for real.
Try that out. If you have a negative experience, we'd love to hear about it. About everything we do is transactional. Love is not
Yeah,
a
for sure.
transactional thing. So we always say to be kind for no reason. And don't expect anything in return. But you leave with your dignity and your pride and your honor, and that's really important to us. So we'll see you next week. Thanks again. Make sure to like and subscribe, and you guys be safe.
Thank you.